someone sent me a message from space this week. A poem even. All about him. He asked me if I'd read it on Wild Nights, and I said, sure, big guy. Sure. J is for jetting up to space for all the world to see. E is for ego trip because it's all about me. F is for fuck the poor, they're gross and have a scent. Another F for fleeing Earth, it is money well spent. B is for be back real quick, I'm scared to go too long. E is for eat my dick-shaped ship. It's shaped just like a dong. Z is for zest for life. I have no real true friends. O is for orgasms. I always pay for them. S is for I'm sad at night despite all of my wealth. 'Cause choosing you or choosing me, I'll always pick myself.
Duh.
Welcome to the Rocky Rundown, where you get to learn a little bit about my week. Party God Squad, hello! Did you have a good week? I sure did. I looked in many a reflective glass on countless occasions these past few days, and I asked myself the age-old question, am I Megan Thee Stallion? I went out for cocktails Tuesday night, specifically dirty-ass, filthy-ass vodka martinis with my gal pal Isabel, and we went to a nice place in the West Village. Were we vibing with the bartenders? Absolutely. I'll start with bartender number one. Bartender number one was so attractive, he would give you the puddles with just a glare across the room. However, he'd only touch the rock if I supplied the cock. D'ya feels? So hi-ho, bye-ho, it's off to the friend zone you go. Go on, get in there. Bartender 1 became our new bestie, delivering side-eye that only we'd understand and simply just making wonderful drinks. He enhanced our experience to the max. Now I'll introduce bartender number 2. Much like taste buds change, so do taste buds of attraction. Up until this point in my life, I had only been attracted to Jon Favreau in one movie, and that movie was I Love You Man. But everything changed on Teeny Tuesday. The second bartender looked so much like Jon Favreau that I got a little crush. Enter the Asshole Squad. I guess that's the best name for them. If you saw them, you'd probably say, that's the Asshole Squad, of course. These folks were going against the vibe, not because of the way they dressed, not because of the way they looked, but because they came in on the negative train. One of the guys looked like a family friend that I see maybe once every 2 or 3 years. The other member of the Asshole Squad looked like a steaming hot trash pile. So we'll call him Steaming Hot Trash Pile. And then the young woman that they were with, well, for her sake, I hope she's found another squad to be an asshole in, because these two were embarrassing. Since they were sitting next to us, I thought, I gotta ask, is this guy who I'm thinking it is? So I go, yo, buddy, are you so-and-so? To which he responds, very gently, no, but you can take a fucking picture. I bet it'll last longer. So I was crystal clear on the message. Steaming Hot Trash Pile is starting to get belligerent at this point, in all the best ways. And he starts saying that my fake family friend is actually his uncle. So when the bartender tried to close him out, he put all 3 drinks on one tab. Well, Steaming Hot Pile of Trash loses his goddamn mind. In this classy establishment, I mean, I guess Venmo was not on the table, PayPal, Cash App. My faux family friend gets up and leaves because he doesn't want to be seen with this guy. This guy is screaming, I only had 2 drinks. Why did you think I was with him? Why would you think we were together? Me and her only had 2 drinks. You charged me for 3. He needs his own bill. But the third guy is out the door. Why did you assume we were together? Well, I don't want to point out the obvious, but you did say this guy was your uncle all night. Then he pulls this award-winning line out. Do you know who I am? And other colorful language. Jon Favreau stepped in. He slammed his hand down and got control of the situation. Steaming Hot Trash Pile was shook. He was not getting swingers Jon Favreau. He was getting Chef Jon Favreau. And all I can say is, yes, chef. While Steaming Hot Pile of Trash's girlfriend dragged him out of the bar, though that was very hard to do because he had a big fat penis that could barely fit out of the door. Jon Favreau slowly looked over at me and winked. And in that moment, I was Iron Ma'am. And that brings us to Rocky's highest thoughts, my most stoned thoughts of the week. Thought number 1. What if the devil controls the weather? Hear me out. If you were to stonily fantasize about the devil getting assigned jobs, and then the devil gets weather, and weather is the worst one. You see how hard weathermen sweat, and they know what the temperature's gonna be. They're out here grasping at straws. And that's why Sin City is one of the hottest cities. Thought number 2, relax. Rest assured, none of us have to feel old. None of us have to feel old until Prince William becomes king. When Prince William becomes king, then you can feel old. Think about it. And lastly, numero tres. I simply wrote, snap your fingers and you're there. My guest this week is stand-up comedian Jevon Johnson. Jevon's wild word is that's it, but the irony of it is just when you thought his story couldn't get any wilder, that was in fact not it. It turned into more it turned into more it. Jevon is not only a hilarious comedian, he's also an incredible storyteller. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Wild Nights with Rocky, on Twitter at Wild Nights Pod, and when you finish listening, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And thank you to those who've already done so. It really does make a difference. And lastly, this podcast is officially bingeable. If you're new, hit up some of the old episodes. If you're a member of the Party God Squad, you've missed no episodes. So thank you. And now, please enjoy my Wild Nights conversation with Jevon Johnson. Jevon, welcome. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Hey, Rocky, happy to be here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to see you. We're finally getting to record. We have a mutual friend.
Yes.
Friend of the pod, I should say, Ace Zanders.
Yes. My brother from another, man. Me and Ace go way, way back to we was like 3-4 years old, man. That's my guy.
Yes, he loves you. He has nothing but good things to say about you. So I'm so happy to finally have you on the show and get to chat with you. How has the reopening of the world been for you? It looks to me like you're getting out a lot and getting to perform, but what's it like from your standpoint?
Yeah, and that's the thing, as a comic, man, the shutdown was kind of devastating. First and foremost, it was just devastating for us as a people. A lot of people lost their lives, lost work, so it was a tough time. Now, for creatives and performers, it was really hard because we couldn't go anywhere and do what we love. So the reopening has been a blessing.
Right.
I'm starting to book more shows, getting opportunities to even just drop in at shows and work out on new material. So it's been dope. I'm looking forward to, everything kind of getting back to normal.
Me too. I guess I would say, as far as the pandemic, I hope that's it.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Yes.
That's it. So Jevon's wild word, his wild phrase rather, was that's it. Everyone's excited. I know if Ace Zanders is the company you keep, and if anyone who hasn't listened to Ace's episode, you must do yourself the favor because he is an all-star guest on Wild Nights. But if anybody keeps company with Ace Zanders, I know they're coming with a Wild Night story. So Jevon, hit us with your that's it Wild Night.
All right, so I'm gonna take y'all on a journey down memory lane, man. I'm not going to date myself too much. I'm just gonna say, at the time, I was about 22 years old. I'll say that. And I was finishing up my college career at Morgan State University. I was a junior at Morgan State. And and around, technically I was supposed to be a junior, but I bullshitted my way through a lot of college. So I graduated in 5 years instead of 4.
The degree of fun.
Yes, exactly. I majored in partying and bullshitting. That was my major.
And that song was also popular when you were graduating.
Yeah, it was. I said, I'm not going to date myself a Rocky.
I had to do it.
I didn't graduate when that song was out. I'm not that old, but that was funny, Rocky. But so I was in school, right? And I had to unexpectedly in my semester and come home early. Some family situation. Okay. So I came home early, handling my family situation. And at the time, Nas was releasing a new album. It's sad I don't remember what album it was, but a Nas album was releasing. Now, this is relevant because I had a very close friend of mine, still my dog to this day, my man Vegas, who was an MC at the time, still is an MC, he rapped. And he had a connection to Nas, and he always would say, yo, man, if I could get in touch with Nas, man, I probably could get on, because his cousin was Nas's best friend. If anybody out there ever listened to any Nas music, you always hear him talk about Ill Will. Ill Will was murdered, years before Nas got a record deal. And that was, my man Vegas, that was his cousin. So that was the connection. Yeah, that was the connection. He always said, yo, if I could get in touch with Nas, actually, he said Nasir. That's how well he knew him. He was like, wow. If I could get in touch with Nasir, I would be good. I would get on. So I'm at home. I'm on the block with my man Will. We chilling. And I hear that Nas has an album release at one of these. It was back in the days. I want to say JNR, Sam Goody, one of them Tower Records, one of them
Virgin something, yeah.
When motherfuckers used to buy CDs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm on the block. I'm like, you know what? Let me go up to this album release, this signing, and see if I can maybe talk to Nas for my man. So I leave the block. I get up there. The line is wrapped around the fucking corner.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pouring down, raining. It's chaos out there. So I'm looking. I'm like, I'm not waiting on this fucking line.
It ain't happening.
Nah, because I don't want, listen, I'm a Nas fan, but I'm here for business. I'm not here trying to get a photograph and no shit like that. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, how am I going to skip this line? Because I'm not waiting on this line.
Right.
When I'm saying that, a fight breaks out on the line. I don't know, motherfuckers, somebody like Nas, somebody like Jay-Z, start fighting, or somebody stepped on somebody's sneak. I don't know what happened, but I said, this is my fucking moment to skip this line. So the fight breaks out. I slide into the front of the line, right?
Okay.
So I'm good now. I feel good. I'm at the front of the line, not the very front, but I'm close enough.
You're up there.
I'm chilling, right? So I think I'm good. All of a sudden, a cop comes up to me and says, listen, man, you weren't standing here before everything broke out. You weren't online,
being extra.
Extra like some of New York's finest is. I said, yeah, you was a motherfucker to myself. You was bullied when you was in high school. That's why you a cop, so you can do shit like this. So I'm like, yo, officer, man, I was here. I said, all these people here, how do you know I wasn't here? So I'm going back and forth. And then some cornball dickhead behind me says, yes, officer, he wasn't in line. I look back, I'm like, wow, really? So me and him start getting into it.
Yeah.
So long story short, we had words. The cop grabs me and pulls me off the line. Now, at the time, I had just bought a pair of brand new Jordans that just dropped a week before.
Okay.
Brand new Jordans. I want to say the 12s. Right.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
With the Jordans, which I feel like this is a perfect thing for you to say, because Ace's story was about Durango boots.
Right, yeah.
But with the Jordans, did you wait online for Jordans too, or were you just went in and got them?
No. See, back then, I'm talking about when I was 22, 23, the sneaker game was crazy, but it was nothing like how it is now. If you went to a store on a day the joints dropped, you probably could get them. If you knew a spot that was kind of low, I never waited online for sneakers in my life. I'm never doing that dumb shit.
No, you don't have to.
How much of a sneakerhead you are, I'm not waiting online and camping out for no goddamn Jordans. You know what I mean? So
different strokes.
No. Exactly. If that's your thing, cool. I'm not with that shit. I got a bad back, bad knees and all like that. I can't wait online for no sneakers, man.
So you just got the sneakers about a week before.
I'm crispy. I'm standing there now. Why did I wear them to the damn album release and in the rain? I don't know why. I just had to stunt. That's what I did in my 20s, right?
That's okay.
So this part of the story is horrible because the cop grabs me. Now it's raining. It's a big ass puddle right here. When he grabs me, I step right in the damn puddle with my brand new J's, and they were suede Jordans, man. I'm standing there. One, I'm tight because my damn sneakers are soaking wet that I just bought, and now I'm off of the line again. So now
you got to start from square one.
Yes, I'm like, listen, I love my man Vegas, but I don't know if he would go through all this shit for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny. I was just talking to him the other day about this. I said, dog, you don't never talk about the shit I went through for this Nas situation. You know what I mean? But I digress because I ain't gonna give the whole story away, right?
Yes.
So I get pulled off the line again, right? So I'm standing there. I'm like, damn. How am I gonna get back on this line? At this point, I'm talking to my man Will that's with me. He never got on the line. He like, yo, we out here in the rain. Fuck it, man. You know, he gonna have to get up with him some other way. You know what I'm saying?
I love Will. That's great.
Yes, Will was like, yo, fuck it, man. He gonna have to. We stand out. We in the rain, dog. You got pulled off. And then he said, look at your sneakers. Oh, it wasn't worth it. Look at your days. I'm like, you know what, Will? You're right. Before I know it, the heavens open up and I hear somebody calling my name, right? Yo, Jay. I look, my man Sean from the block, right?
Okay.
So now Sean is the type of dude, if he would have came and let 50 people get on stage, on the line, nobody ain't saying shit to him. Mm-hmm. Sean about 6'5", you know, you got a Scully on. He just looked like he with the shits. And you
Sean the Don.
Yeah, exactly. So he like, yo, Jay, Paul, come get online. Yeah. So I go get online and people looking at me like, and at this time, the cops had went to go deal with something else. So this is a hip hop artist. So they really not there. They don't really care, but some of them have to be there at their post. So the cop has stepped off. So I slid in line with my man, Sean. We good. Nobody ain't saying shit to me. I'm a king now. I feel good. I'm like, I wish I would say, like, I skipped. I wasn't here before what?
I'm with Sean now.
I got Sean with me. You know what I mean? So I'm good money. So we sitting there. Now I'm like, damn, all right, man. I just got to try to get in here and get in and out. Now they tell me online some more bullshit. They're like, all right, where's your item to sign? If you on this line, you got to have something to sign. You either got to buy a CD, a poster, a T-shirt. I'm like, come on, y'all, what the fuck is up with all these rules just to get a signature or something?
This is extra, yeah.
You know, I'm like, it's not Jesus. You know what I mean? It's not Jesus. So I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm not buying his CD because I already got it. I got it for free. I'm not buying another one. I'm not buying a poster. I'm not buying a T-shirt. Yeah. Once again, by the grace of God, it was a poster. Maybe that Jay-Z fan that was arguing with the Nas fan. It was a poster on the ground that was half ripped up, crumpled up. I picked that shit up. I said, this is my item. I'm going to get signed, right? Yeah. All right, so I got my item to get signed. After waiting, I swear, the wait probably was like an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. Most people may say that's not crazy. For me, like for doing something for somebody else, like I was a Nas fan, but it's like I'm not a fan like to the point where I gotta meet you and get a signature. I don't need all that. I'm doing this for somebody else. Yeah. Right? So I get up to Nas. I'm like, yo, he like, yo, shorty. First of all, Nas is not that much older than me. I didn't appreciate him calling me shorty. Yeah. But I ain't want to sour the situation. I kind of looked at him like, fuck you calling shorty? You're about 6 years older than me, bro. What are you talking about? So, but I let it slide.
You were picking your battles.
I had to, because the way the day was going, I didn't want to get tossed up out of that motherfucker again. Like, Jazzy Jeff on the Fresh Prince when Uncle Phil threw him out.
Yeah.
Just chill. I done, fucked up my Jordans. I done got harassed by police. I done got snitched on. Even though I got Sean with me, I don't know what might happen.
Okay, so you get up to the line. He calls you shorty. You're not with it.
And I really, I felt disrespected. I'm like, I'm a grown ass man, B. How you gonna call me shorty? But it wasn't about me. That's the type of person I am. Yeah. I'm about doing things for others. So I get up there. He's like, yo, what you want to sign? I'm like, nah, I don't want you to sign nothing, bro. I'm like, listen, my man Vegas, you know what I mean? You know him, Ill Will cousin. He raps. And I told him, I said, yo, his style is very similar to yours. He's been trying to get in contact with you for years. Yeah. That's my dog. I came down here, so maybe I could connect y'all. He said, oh, word, I remember Vegas, Lil Veg. Yeah, he said, yeah, that's my man. Mm-hmm. I said, yeah, man, yo, he been trying to get in touch with you. He said, say less. Wrote his number down, right? And he said to me, he said, yo, do not lose this. Don't give this to anybody. Don't let anybody call this. You give this to Vegas. I'm like, Nas, I'm not no groupie type dude, dog.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call you. I'm not gonna give it to anybody. I'm gonna give it to him. So
I'm
great.
on a mission.
I'm on a mission, right? So I feel good. You know what I'm saying? I got the number. I ripped the shit off the rest of the poster because he wrote it on the poster. Threw the poster away. I got the little piece of paper. Keep it. So I get home after all that. I call my man Vague. I'm like, yo, fam, you ain't gonna believe this, son. I got Nas' number for you. Now this shit was like a slap in the face because he ain't sound excited at all. You know what I mean?
That's the worst.
I just went through war to get this man information for you, and he's like, "All right, yeah, son, good looking. Yeah, all right, son, good looking. Like, man, you owe me a pair of Jordans, man. You owe me a pair of Jordans, bro." And you know, about 2 hours of my damn day, I was soaking wet. I got harassed by cops. I got kicked off the line, and Nas called me shorty. So I got disrespected on many levels, bro. And all you can say is good looking. You know, so I felt the way about it, but once again, I gave him a pass. But what was really the kicker, right? Oh, I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a week passes, and I talked to my man Vague. I'm like, yo, so what's going on with the Nas thing? Yo, I ain't call him yet. Fuck you mean you ain't call him yet? You didn't call him yet? Yeah, man. You know I've been caught. I said, dog.
What is bigger than this? That's
what I'm saying. I say, yo, this is life changing for you and me. Because if you get on, I'm getting on. Because I'm the connection, bro.
Yeah.
And what my man Vague is a real like laid back, super cool dude. But I'm like, dog, in this situation, you were supposed to call the next day or that night. I'm sorry.
That's it.
So he didn't call. That shit bothers me to this day, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't call him or whatever. So I'm gonna fast forward back to that night. I mean, rewind back to that. So where the night continues to get wild. I should have known because the energy of the night was crazy, right? Mm-hmm. So I get home. My man was having a party that night in the city. I had a good friend of mine. I say, you know what? I'm home. I'm back from school. I had a lot of shit on my mind. Like I said, I was home dealing with a serious family issue.
Right.
So I say, you know what? We're going to hang out. And I feel good. Like, I'm going to celebrate. I got Nas' number for my man. So I call up this joint that I had been just kicking it with at the time. Nothing serious. Wasn't my girlfriend or nothing. I was single. We was dealing with each other, you know. Fucking here and there, you know.
All right. You don't have to commit. You're relaxed. She's not behind you. She's not gonna make you commit.
Listen,
I get it.
I just gotta be clear in case my wife see this episode.
Oh, yes. That's
true. This is before I was with her, so it don't matter.
Of course. Shout out to your wife. Yes.
Yeah. So I call Shorty. I'm like, you know what? You want to come with me to this party in the city? My man having cool. She goes with me to the party. We there, we having a good time, we drinking, we dancing, you know. Now, while I'm dancing with her on the dance floor, somebody squeezes my butt, right? From So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the chick I'm with is 7:30. She's crazy. Okay. Like, she probably could whip my ass. I'm gonna keep this right good. So my first thing, I'm like, I don't want her to see that a chicken here grab my ass because this party gonna be over.
It'll be over, yeah.
So I look back. The crazy thing is the girl that grabbed my ass was this girl I was in love with in high school that shitted on me. I'm not going to say, let's call her Sarah. Sarah, right?
Got it.
So I look back and it's Sarah. I'm like, oh, what's good? How you doing? I give her a hug, you know, Shorty behind me fuming. Like, I explain, I'm like, nah, you know, me and her go way back. You know what I mean? It's my homegirl from high school. So I'm thinking that's it. So I move away from Sarah because I already know that could get crazy. So I move away, the night going on, me and Shorty partying, having a good time. So I go to the bar to get us some drinks. Sarah must have followed me to the bar. I ain't even noticed. She follows me to the bar. And now I'm thinking, I'm like, if Shorty see me standing here talking to you, she's going to knock you the fuck out. Probably end me too, right?
Right.
So it was my man's party. It was his uncle's spot. I had been there before. So I had kind of free reign in there. I could do what I wanted to do. I knew there was like a dark room downstairs. There was an office downstairs that whenever, this wasn't my first time at this spot, wherever you had parties, we used to go down there and talk and drink. And my friends that smoked would go down there and smoke. So
of course,
I'm thinking right now, I'm like, you know what? And it was kind of dumb of me because I did used to have a thing for Sarah. So
I'm like, in love with her, you said.
Yeah, I'm still single and all that. So I'm like, you know what? Let me take Sarah downstairs and kind of talk to her, see if I could get back in there somehow, right? And like I said, I'm drinking a little bit. So my mind is not thinking right. I'm not thinking I got the Tasmanian devil with me that you know, when she notices I'm gone, something's gonna happen. So me and Sarah go downstairs, we're in the office talking, and she like, yeah, you know, I'm seeing you with that girl, man, and it brought back a lot of memories. I'm sorry for the way I did you. You know, I'm back home from school now, man. Maybe we can rekindle things that, you know, and I go, me and her go to kiss, right? I was going right then and there, the office door swings open. Boom. No. Oh, you want to show? I remember this like yesterday. Shorty said, oh, you want to be downstairs in dark rooms kissing bitches? So she races at Sarah. Now, Sarah get busy too. She, you know, she not no punk either. So she's standing there like it's whatever. So I'm holding Shorty back, right?
Yeah.
Before I get crazy, like mad at my peoples that was in the party, come downstairs. They pull Shorty back like off me. I'm telling Sarah, yo, if you know like I know, go upstairs and leave. Just leave. She like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm like, yo, leave right now. So she goes upstairs or whatever. Now in the party, and this was such a crazy night. It was a dude in a party, right, that had been messing with my girlfriend at college, right? Okay. That I found out she was cheating with him. He happened to be in a party because one of my people who was cool with my man, who Uncle Club it was, happened to be home this weekend or whatever. So they cool and he had the party. So
word has spread.
Exactly, and it's crazy. So I'm in there. You know, I tell Shorty to leave, and a couple of my peoples grab the hothead and take her in the bathroom, right? So now I'm going
the girl that you had come with.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm going in the bathroom trying to calm her down because I already know she on 100. Mm-hmm. So I go in there, right? And I'm trying to calm her down. I got her on top of the toilet in the men's bathroom, on top of the toilet. I'm holding her. She kicking and screaming. Yeah. The girl punched a hole in the bathroom wall.
No.
Punched a hole in the wall. And I'm glad there was a couple people in there that about that. When I tell this story, they be like, nah, it's real.
It's true.
Punched a hole in the wall. So after all of a sudden, everybody else leaves because they like, yo, we don't want no part of this. She punching holes in the wall. She bugging. I'm trying to calm her down. Yeah. Now, before I know it, the dude that I had drama with that was messing with my girlfriend in college comes in the bathroom. So me and him don't fuck with each other, right? But he sees what's going on. I'm going to tell you this how real he is. He's helping me try to calm Shorty down. Like, yo, it wasn't what you think. You know what I mean? They was down there talking because she was drunk and he, you know, was trying to keep her from getting kicked out the club. She went to high school with us. He ain't go to high school with me, but he's piggybacking off of my story. So now my head is fucked up. I'm like, I don't even like you, but you in here trying to help me. That's real. So this
is some like bro code stuff.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? To this day now, me and him are cool because I respected that so much because, like you said, he was honoring the bro code. He like, yo, I don't even fuck with Jay like that. Jay don't fuck with me, but I see he got a problem going on right here. I'm trying to help him. Yeah. Now, this is when the story gets crazy. And I'm glad the kid that went to school with me was there because he saw this. This girl gets so crazy. She starts foaming at the mouth like a rabid dog. No lie. Foaming at the mouth. So now I'm like, there's some exorcist shit going on. You know, I'm about to leave her here and just never deal with her again. So, you know what I mean? She going crazy and he takes over. He, you know, he was on the basketball team, so he a little more physical and more shape than me. So he like, yo, baby girl, you gotta chill. What are you doing? Chill out. What? She like, nah, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill her. So I walk out the bathroom. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to deal with this. And I said, you know what? I had to take a step away because I was getting so crazy and frantic. I'm like, yo, I would never put my hands on a woman.
Of course.
But she gets so out of control. And I feel like I'm pretty much known as a cool, level-headed guy, man.
Yeah.
She was so out of control. She making me look bad because people was coming to the bathroom and they like, yo, Jay in there with that chick he brought to the party looking crazy. So I step out, but I said, damn, I can't leave her in there with him. So I go in there, right? She calms down. All of a sudden she calms down. All right, I should have known this was a ploy. Like grown man me knows now I shouldn't have fell for it. This is a ploy. So she like, listen, I'm calm. I just want to leave. I want you to leave me. Can we go? Listen, I've been drinking a lot. I got a lot on my mind. You know how I feel about you, even though we not together. I feel like you mine. I know you saying you think and all that, but I feel all this shit she's saying. I should say, this chick is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So my dumb ass, I say, yo, I'm leaving it. And part of me leaving too, I was embarrassed You know, because I had never been caught up in a situation like that in public. I was embarrassed. I said,
that's not your reputation.
That's not my style. And everybody looking at me crazy like, dog. And then my man like, yo, you gonna bring this to my uncle's spot? And like I said, she punched a hole in the wall. The top, the tank of the toilet, the top fell off and broke. So it was mad damage I had to end up paying for ultimately. Yeah. So long story short, I get in a cab with her. So right when we get in the cab and the cab pulls off, she starts bugging. She starts trying to bite me. She's scratching me and all that. The cab driver's like, yo, y'all got to get out.
Y'all gotta go, yeah. Out.
Listen, we on an FDR going to Brooklyn. The cab driver like, y'all got to get out. I'm like, dog, we can't get out on an FDR. This is the
FDR. There's not even a shoulder on the FDR. No,
it's kind of where he said, no, you got to get out of my cab. I said, so I'm able to like hold her back the whole route to Brooklyn. She's bugging. She's scratching my arm, trying to bite me. I'm like, yo, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Right. So we get to her block. I push her out the cab. Right. I try to close the door. So I tell the cab driver, start driving. This girl grabs the cab door. The cab starts pulling off. She's running alongside of the cab with the door open. I'm like, Poppy, the door's open. I don't even think he noticed. I said, you got to stop. Because listen, she's crazy, but I don't want her to die. I don't want that.
No. That's not a good look for you leaving with her after her behavior either. Yeah.
Exactly. So he pulls over. He stops, right?
Yeah.
The girl gets on her knees outside of the cab door with the cab door open. Like, I'm sorry. I'm drunk. I love you. This is how I never felt this way about anybody in my life. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please, I will do anything. She's on her knees in the street in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, on Gates Avenue, outside of a cab, begging me to forgive her. Right? So at that point, I'm like, yo, because I'm still on like the other side of the car. I could just open the door and dip off and run away. But me being a bleeding heart, I am.
You're about to be a bleeding arm.
Idiot, my bleeding arm, exactly. Idiot that I am. I'm like, you know what? All right, baby girl, I got you. She seemed calm. So, I get her out the cab. Once again, this shit is all a ploy, man. She's building, it's her strategy to get back at me, right? So I'm thinking that I said, all right, maybe she, she bipolar, some shit. Because I knew she was wild, but I never seen a shit like this. I said we was drinking Henny, she usually drink light, maybe the Henny don't agree with her, right?
Different, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I know back then, what I did to the ladies, I said, she's going a little crazy because, she messing with the kids. So I get it, I've been known to drive him crazy when I was a single man. I've been known to drive him a little crazy. So I say, she can't help herself.
Yeah, you made her this crazy because she's just so in love. Yeah.
I got to blame me. I did this. I can't be mad at her. She can't help it. So
that's very noble of you, by the way.
I'm a noble type of guy. You listen. You see, I put everyone before me.
You did. I can't take that away from you. Actually,
it's about this entire story. It's about everybody else, right? Nothing is about me. So I get out, I dust off her knees and shit, because she's on her knees in the street. I'm like, listen, you gotta chill, man. She like, please, just come home with me, man, and I'll make it up to you. My dumb ass. Us fellas, when a young lady says, I'll make it up to you, those are magical words. I'm like, you know what? I done came all the way down here, went through this shit. Let me walk upstairs. So I walk upstairs, right? We get in her apartment. I'm thinking everything's cool. I ain't even take my jacket off. She turns around to me. She's holding a steak knife in her hand. She like, I told you when we started dealing with each other, I know you see other people. And this shit is playing. I remember it like yesterday. Yeah. I know you're seeing other people, but I told you never put shit in my face, never disrespect me. But you fucking disrespected me. Now we in her house. She's standing at the kitchen. I'm standing a little ways away from the door. It's a long distance in front of us. This girl hog spit at me, right? And the shit dropped like right at my feet. Now, my mother always told me the most disrespectful thing anybody could do to you is spit at you or on you. Yes. Now, the shit didn't get on me, but still she spit at me. And I'm like, yo, you wild. How the fuck you gonna try to spit at me? I'm like, like I said, I don't put my hands on women.
Of course
I say, yo, I'm leaving. She jumps in front of the door with the steak knife. She like, yo, I should stab your ass. I say, yo, stop playing. Put the knife down. Stop playing.
This is getting scary now.
And I'm telling you, I'm scared to death. Listen, I grew up in Brooklyn in the hood, but I am no gangster. I ain't even up here fronting. I ain't no gangster, right?
Yeah.
I'm a man, but I ain't no gangster. So, and the look she had in her eyes, granted, this is a girl I saw punch a hole in the wall today, and I saw her foam at the fucking mouth, stand on top of the toilet and break the tank. So I know she probably done stabbed a couple motherfuckers in her day.
Right.
She probably stabbed in her sleep. Yeah. You know? So I'm like, damn, I'm standing there. I'm like, how the fuck I'm gonna get out of this? And she's sitting there like serious, like with the knife. Yo, I should fucking stab you. You disrespected me. You know, you asked me to come with you to the party and you set me up. You probably knew that bitch was gonna be there. I'm like, now she on some psycho shit. She done came up with some whole story. I'm like, listen, now my tone has changed. I'm trying to be very nice now. I'm like, baby, listen, you know I care about you. Yeah. Why we gotta do this? Why we going through this? You know, you don't want to hurt me. And I'm sorry I hurt you. You know you don't want to hurt me. She like, motherfucker, go ahead with all that shit.
Because she wrote the book.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. She know you can't out crazy. Mm-mm. You know what I mean? You can't out smooth a crazy motherfucker. So I'm standing there. I'm scared to death. I'm like, yo, this bitch about to kill me.
Yep.
So I'm standing there and she put the knife up like this, right? Now it's a steak knife. So I said, maybe I could grab the shit out her hand, right? So I go to grab the knife and she pulls it down, right? And the shit, it cuts me right here, not deep, but it cuts me, right? And right in these crevices right here, it cuts me. So I'm holding my hand like this. But when she saw me step back like this, I guess the shock of her feeling like she hurt me kind of brought her back to maybe her nice personality again.
Right.
She's like, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt you. I was just, so at that point, I ran out the door. Her steps, she lived on the second floor. It was like a private house. She was renting out the second floor. Mm-hmm. The shit might have had 15 steps. I jumped down that whole flight of steps. Pissy drunk. I'm not lying. I jumped down that whole flight of steps. Now, I didn't break my ankle like my man Ace in the Durango boots, right?
No.
Because I had on them same Jordans that got fucked up earlier. So yes. I will say Nike make a hell of a shoe. Shit had good traction.
Shout out to Nike.
Yes. So I jumped, stumbled a little bit, and my ass, I just started running. I lived crazy far away from where she was. I just started running because I couldn't believe the situation I got myself in.
Yeah.
I could not believe the fucking situation I got myself. So I'm running and I stopped. And I just took a minute and I stood on a corner. I want to say I was on Gates and Nostrand at the time.
Okay.
I stood on the corner and I'm just standing there reflecting on the type of day I had. I'm like, yo, this shit was crazy. And I'm sitting there and the dude in me is like, damn, I ain't gonna never see her again. And I felt bad because the sex was amazing. I will say that. Yeah. So I'm sitting there. I'm
always like, the crazy one. Yeah, the best sex. Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't never gonna see her again. But I'm like, yo, I could have died tonight, right? So I get in the cab, I go home. So I get in the cab, and the cab driver is like this cool, hip black dude, man. Mm-hmm. And he says to me, yo, Nas had an album release today. On Tower Record. I'm like, motherfucker. I said, dog, that's the last thing I want to hear. He like, yo, you heard that? I said, fam, I don't want to hear nothing about Nas right now, man. So I ended up going home, my hand bleeding. I nursed my wounds or whatever, man. Wake up the next day. Shorty must have called me probably like 20 times. Of course, I ain't take none of her calls.
No.
And listen, that's it. That's my wild night, man. That's my wild night.
I mean, simply for sound purposes, I'm not going to start clapping, but I want to give you a standing ovation right now. That just kept escalating to just a level I wasn't expecting.
Yo, I was wondering, like, when that day happened to me, I'm like, damn, did I do some foul shit in a past life that I don't know about that I'm paying for today?
Yes.
Yo, it was so bananas, man. And I could laugh at it now. When I tell a story now to my friends, it's funny. And like I said, when I talk about Shorty punching a hole in the wall and foaming at the mouth, people don't believe me. I got people that could co-sign, and I always say, yo, you act such and such, or it's crazy, man. It was a crazy night, but I'm happy I survived it, man.
I'm really happy you survived. I'm happy you lived to tell the tale. I obviously have a few questions. So my first question is, she called you 20 times. Mm-hmm. It is really hard when we have someone in our lives. I know everyone in their life, if you're not this person, you have a person or multiple people, the longer you live, that are a bit toxic or bit off. And those people tend to be in circles you run with, or maybe if they're not in the immediate circle, they're on the outer banks of the circle. what did you do to kind of separate yourself from her? Because I'm sure this wasn't easy to get yourself out of this situation.
And that's the thing. We had, because, me and her were cool. So she was the type that I could bring to parties and bring around people, and we would have good times. It was until this night, we always had fun. Like I said, she was very, how can I say it? Not crazy, but I knew she
Party
liked
girl.
a lot. Yeah, but we had fun. We had a good time. And because of what I was dealing with at the time, like I told you, I had a fit. Well, I could say it, man. My grandmother had got really sick, and I had to come home because I basically was told she was dying. Right.
You were stepping up, trying to be with your family at a really difficult time. Yeah.
And she was kind of like a person that was great to be around because she helped me get my mind off of that. When I was with her, we were just having fun, drinking, partying, doing whatever. But then, this night I saw another side of her. So back to your original question, it was hard to kind of like just cut her off. One, because we did have mutual acquaintances in common. And I've never been an asshole type of guy, right? So
no, you don't give that energy at all. No.
Thank you, and you either, right?
Thank you.
But I knew her story, and I knew she was the type of person that was raised off sacrifice and not love, right? And the more I got to know about her, even though, like I said, we weren't serious, so I felt bad about cutting her off. So for a little while, I would take her calls. She would say, "Listen, can you come see me? We can meet somewhere mutual, sit down and talk." And I did that a couple of times, but I stuck with that. I couldn't unsee what I saw on that night. You know what I mean? So I knew it would be unhealthy for me to deal with her on any level other than cordial. But what really made me stay away from her is when I started dating my girlfriend, who's my wife now. And I got so serious with her, and I wasn't going to let anything come in between that. So I had to put my wife before her and completely cut her off. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't take calls. If I went somewhere and she was there, I would leave.
Good.
Because thank God I never ran into her when I was with my girlfriend, because who knows what she would have done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just had to cold turkey, and it was hard for me. I just had to cut her off, man. And eventually she got the picture, and I saw her years later, and she's now married. And I said, damn, God bless that brother, because for somebody to put up with you, he's amazing. But she said she went to counseling and she changed, and she apologized for everything she did that night. And she said, listen, I once again, I was raised, on survival and not love. And that's why I got that. She told me that day, and she said I had to heal. I had to do some things to, become a better person, but I did. But I want to apologize for you for all those things I did that night. That was crazy. And I appreciated that, man. But I had to cut her off cold turkey though.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that she apologized, because I really empathize with people who can recognize that. My cousin is staying with me right now, and she and I have been having some incredible conversations just about life in general and people and the way, and we really vibe on a great level. And we were talking about like the way people's behavior in adulthood is always like a reflection. Everybody is a product of their environment, right?
Yes.
And it's up to you when you become an adult to say, I am acting like a child in this way because of X, Y, and Z. Now, how am I going to change that? And how am I going to be better? And so she took the steps to be better. But everybody is like a product of their childhood, a product of the circumstances that happen to us, everything that shapes us. And even an instance like that, where you take her to look at the domino effect of that. You were probably a little tentative. Any woman you wanted to take to a party after that, you were probably like, I'm maybe gonna fly solo to this one. Maybe I'm just gonna go with the boys to this one.
I was traumatized, definitely, and it's funny. My wife, when we were dating, always used to say, "Well, why won't you take me out when you go out?" Like we did things. I would take her to the movies or out to eat, or if it was a function that I knew, like a wedding or a baby shower or something. But hanging out, I never went with my girlfriend, who is now my wife, to clubs because I feared running into this girl. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say that. I was going to say feared running into her, but also maybe fear that any woman that you date after her might behave the same way. You were like, and then you're going to be known as the guy that only takes women who don't know how to act out. And then, you know, you already have this like really positive reputation with your friends. And then, you know, that probably affected a way that your friend whose uncle owned the club. It probably, you know, he probably was looking at you like, yeah, man, maybe not tonight. I don't need you to come.
I was banned from the spot.
You were banned. Okay, there we go.
And once again, which was crazy embarrassing to me, but how I couldn't be mad at that.
Yeah.
Look at the situation I brought to his establishment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I couldn't be mad at that. But once again, it was embarrassing. Here I had like drug dealers and stick up kids and all that type looking down on me like, yo, you wildin'.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So that felt so bad. But it was, you know, I learned a lot that night. You know what I mean? Because I went through like such a variety of emotions in one night. It was an emotional roller coaster, man. And just realizing, man, the company you keep is important, and you have to kind of vet people to know how they react in different situations, because you don't want to get a bad name, kind of to your point, you know, based on the people you deal with, the people you hang out with, and the situations and drama and toxicity that you bring to situations. So yeah, I learned a lot that night, but it was a rough one. It was a rough one.
And you have to learn those lessons. Some people get to skate by. Maybe they just never experienced something where they've experienced somebody who you know, is a bad look for them. But then there's people like yourself who made the decision to say, I'm cutting this person out. And I've had to do that before too, where you like hang out with someone and you're like, ooh, that was icky. That was weird. Like, I don't like the way that went down. I have to make the conscious effort to never make plans with this person again, or never hang with them again, because you're like, if life has taught you enough at a certain point where you're like, I can spot a red flag and I can choose to like go towards that red flag and say it'll be fine, or go away from it and know that you made the right decision. So that's wild. Did you ever get back let in the club, or no?
No, well, actually, they ended up going out of business. So I was like, yeah, you know, see, that was karma for banning me. So you don't ban me no matter what. I felt sorry for them. I said, well, see what happened? You know, if y'all would have let me back in, y'all probably still be in business. So maybe I would say maybe like 2 years later, they went out of business, man. Right. But that was a tough 2 years for me, because, you know, it was a spot that we frequented. You know what I'm saying? And everybody be like, yeah, we going down this, you know, son, uncle spot. I'm like, yeah, I can't go.
Can't go, not tonight.
Yeah. But
why do I picture you just like making fake Yelp accounts and just writing lots of commotion at this bar?
Yes, holes in the bathroom.
Women foaming at mouth here. Don't recommend.
I get rabies if you enter this establishment. Be careful.
Word to the wise, just giving you a warning. And now I guess I got to loop back and ask, did Vegas ever call Nas? He didn't call him, or he did?
I'm gonna say this, and hopefully he does see this, man. He did eventually call him, right? But he says that because he was in college at the time, he wanted to focus on finishing school, and then, you know, dealing with that. And it's funny, he just released a project about Ill Will, man. Basically explaining everything, you know, his relationship with Ill Will. So he just released a project. I want to say it's called From the Turtle to the Bench, man. I think that's what it's called. And my man supports everything I do, so he's going to watch this. So please forgive me if I said the title wrong. But he just released the project. I want to say maybe I think on June 5th, he released it. So he could have had probably a dope music career if he really was proactive about talking to Nas and making that connection, because he even says in the first song he dropped, I listened to it and it made everything clear. Because I did feel away for years. Like, that's an opportunity that anybody that's a rapper at that time would have loved to have. You have a direct connect to one of the hottest rappers in the game, and that knows you already. So you know you're in there. But he had some things he had to deal with mentally. And he said, listen, I wanted to finish school. I wasn't in a place then to be going to the studio and going to parties and all that. And to each his own. But I did what I did out of love for my man. So it was his choice to do whatever he wanted to do with that opportunity.
Absolutely. And that's a great way to look at it too. Sometimes when we give, and when you have to give to someone, or you want to give to someone, you really, it feels nice to have a thank you, and it feels nice to be told like, oh, I appreciate you. But some people just in the moment don't have the capacity, or it's just they don't think it was as big a deal, whatever have you done. So you can't hold animosity. So it's great that you didn't do that. And it's also really cool that you're still friends with him.
Yeah, that's my dog, one of my closest friends, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny, maybe about 20 years later, we got to have a conversation about it just recently. And I told him that same shit. I said, you owe me a pair of Jordans, motherfucker. Oh, really? That's how I feel you, but that's how we really gonna be even. Give me my days, man.
That's crazy. That was an amazing story. Thank you for telling it. Thank you for sharing it, because it's also a really vulnerable story, and definitely, like you said, people saw things and they believed you. But if the situation was different and nobody was a witness to you, then that could have not fared well for you. So it's good that you had witnesses. And also, I wanted to say, like, imagine the guy that stopped her, the guy that slept with your girl when he was in college. Imagine if he was like in the bathroom having sex with her, and then you came back in and you're like, not again, man.
Not again, damn you.
That's all I picture. I'd be like, my fault, man. What can I say? What can I say? No, that was great. So, Jevon, you're back on the scene. Everything's reopening, and it's summer, so we get to do a lot more outdoor shows. What's next for you?
Just like you said, just getting back out there, man. I've been blessed to, move around some. I got some shows coming up in Philadelphia, Baltimore, things like that. But
so a mini tour almost.
I mean, just getting back to it. I was, reaching out to people, or people reaching out to me, getting booked and moving around like I couldn't before. And also working on a couple scripts I've been working on, man. I have this dope idea. I'm not going to say the name of the series, but I could give the premise. And it would be damn tear if anybody tries to steal it. I can say, well, I said it on Wild Nights with Rocky, so y'all can get front. So I'm working on this little series that's like a mashup between Seinfeld and Martin, two of my favorite shows of all time. And if you look at it, Seinfeld and Martin are very similar in a lot of ways.
Okay, so this is becoming quickly my favorite conversation. So let's break it down, the similarities of Seinfeld and Martin, because I'm already with it.
All right, so you have, Jerry Seinfeld, comedian, single man, always hangs out with his friends. His apartment is like headquarters. And it just shows, the trials and tribulations of a 20-something and 30-something-year-old white man living in New York City. Right? In a humorous way. It talks about dating, relationships, and one of the funniest sitcoms of all time.
Yes.
Then on the other side of the spectrum, Martin is kind of like the black version of Seinfeld, because you see all those same things, but from a black man's perspective. And although Martin isn't a comedian on Martin,
he's a radio show host.
Exactly, a radio show host. So somebody that works for himself in the industry, trying to figure things out. His house is also headquarters. His friends are always there, and it's kind of a similar dynamic, man. If you look at Martin and Seinfeld, kind of similar personalities, right? Then you look at the friends, right?
Yeah.
Tommy is not like Kramer, but he's kind of like, how would I say, the opposite of Kramer. Same in stature, big, tall guy. Now, Kramer was the wild, zany guy. Tommy was the more, logical-minded guy. Reserved, exactly. Then you have Cole and George, both kind of short, silly, do wild shit. So the dynamics are kind of the same. Then you have Elaine. I would say Pam is more like Elaine than Gina was.
Interesting.
Because, listen, Pam was to me funnier than Gina. I love Gina too.
Of course, yeah. She was not the straight man of the two, yeah.
Exactly. And Martin and Pam used to always go at it. Now, Elaine and Jerry used to go at it, but in different ways, because they had history, because they used to date. So I just feel the dynamics are kind of similar. So my series is kind of a mashup of the two of them. And even if you look at the layouts of both apartments, they kind of similar. Front door, you come in right into the living room. Right in the back is the bathroom. Setup is kind of the same.
Kitchen off to the side.
Exactly. So I want to pay homage to two of the shows which I think are two of the greatest sitcoms ever on TV, and that influenced me a lot in life and in comedy. Now I will say this: Martin is my all-time favorite show of all time. But Seinfeld is a very close number 2. So I'm working on writing something up that'll match the two of them up and get that going. So that's kind of my baby right now that I'm working on.
And I will say, I think that sounds fantastic. Tommy and Kramer also have similarities because nobody knows what either of them do for work.
There you go. Exactly. Yes.
Who would be the Newman, would you say? Is that Brudman vibes, or is that...
You took the words out of my mouth. And I love that you know both. You know, I would say Brudman would be Newman.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because Jerry despised Newman, you know, but Martin didn't despise Brudman, but he hated how he always invaded his personal space and would come into his apartment.
Yeah.
Sitting there eating. So, similar dynamic. Yes.
Interesting. Yes. Okay. I like that a lot. And you said you had a couple more you're doing too?
Yeah. I also have this joint I call, I'm not going to say the name because it's a dope name and I want to...
We're not going to say it.
Name, but it's basically, I say a dramedy that starts off in the early 90s at my alma mater, Morgan State University, you know, proud graduate of the best HBCU in the nation.
Yes.
Basically, we have a brother who's like an engineer. He works for this big, you know, firm, you know, single man, successful in his 30s, you know what I mean? But he's struggling right now because he lives by himself, doesn't have any children. He has everything but love. Now, he works with two co-workers, two female engineers, right? One of them he has a past with. They went to college together. They ended up working professionally together at one time. You know, they were going to have a child together. The sister lost the child, and that kind of put a wedge between them, right? That was the first hit on his faith. Then he loses his mother to cancer. Second hit on his faith. So for some reason, he starts, you know, dating the younger, newer young lady that works with them, right? And of course, there's animosity because the whole three of them, they were cool. They worked together. The older sister was actually the person who trained the new girl and showed her the ropes. She was her intern, and she feels betrayed because now, you know, the main character of my story and this sister are dating. They're building a life together. So what ultimately happens is one day after a night of going out, drinking, hanging out, my man forgets to, you know, he doesn't wake up for work. Now, at the job, they're doing a big project, a big experiment where they're releasing some new software and all this shit. But he doesn't show up. He oversleeps because he's drunk. He went out the night before. The two girls end up perishing in an explosion at the job. So the whole premise of the story is him trying to find his faith again after being through so much and then losing all the people basically that he loved the most. And there's some comedy in it, but it's really a story about finding your faith, man, and finding love. So like I said, I'm not going to say the name because the title of my joint is so fire. I know somebody is stealing. The name is fire, but those are my two babies I'm working on. And I'm going to get those done and try to shop them. And lastly, me and my girl, Sam Jones, are working on this sketch show, man. That's a mashup between the Tracy Ullman Show and Live in Color, the Chappelle Show. Beautiful. That we doing together with my girl, Sam Jones. That is a content creative genius, you know what I mean? That I met through the pandemic when I was hosting my online trivia show, Quarantine Culture Check. But her and I are collaborating together, and I'm gonna make something dope happen. So of course I'm a comedian and that's my thing, but I love to write and create.
Good.
So those are the things I'm working on, man, and look out for them. And like I said, man, I don't want to say the name because I don't want nobody jacking my names, but like I said, y'all heard it here first.
You heard it here first. That's absolutely right.
If anybody tries to steal my Seinfeld Martin out there, I'm on your ass.
We're coming for you. Both of us, we're coming for you. All that sounds amazing. Congratulations to you. I can't wait to see any of these three projects, all of these three projects. And I'm just, you know, I love talking to people who are as driven as you because it motivates me to stay driven as well. So I feel like I'm in good company. And Jevon, I really want to thank you for doing Wild Nights. This was an excellent episode. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It's about damn time because I had to cancel a couple of times.
No, it's no worries.
Finally came together. And listen, Rocky, you have an amazing vibe. I told you that, man. I watched a few episodes of your podcast, man, and just the way you are, you can see how genuine you are, man. You know, you're funny, you're well-spoken, articulate, but I could tell you got a good heart. So it's a pleasure to be on your platform and to finally meet you. And hopefully we can meet each other in person one day.
I'd really like that. Oh my God. Okay. You're like making me tear up right now. That was so sweet of you to say.
I told you I had that effect on the ladies. I still got it.
Thank you so so much. That's so kind. And that's all right back at you. And yes, I really look forward. I want to take my brother to see you and Ace when you're both doing a show together. I think we both have a good time hanging out with you guys. And Ace is always posting these shows where there's full menus.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to eat and laugh. Okay.
Damn the comedy. I'm coming for the food.
I'm trying to eat and laugh. I want them both. So, Jevon, thank you again for doing the show. You messed up my makeup here at the end, but I can forgive that. Thank you so much, Jevon.
Thank you. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Bye.
Is it